Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone joining us from around the world. It's Decrypted time. It's an hour earlier because the Americans, for some reason, decided to do daylight savings a month earlier than everybody else. So, we're a little bit late. Jack,
hey, what's your guys' take? Do we get rid of daylight savings entirely?
Just get rid of it.
If you could just wave a magic wand, or make it the later time or the earlier time.
30 minutes. Split the difference. Just do 30 minutes, like back or forward, whatever. Yeah. Split the difference. Call it a day. We're done. Please.
Best idea I've heard yet.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't really care so much because, like, as a software engineer, you're flexible, so you don't really have to get to the office at the same time. I don't know, but I think in general, people need to only work when it's like the sun, like sunlight. There are some studies that you need to make sure that it corresponds to the natural thing, that if you work and it's sunny outside, if you work and it's kind of dark outside, then you're disrupting your sleep. So that's my take. I mean, like when people before civilization, people just worked when it was sun and it was sunny, and then they slept when it was night.
Candles were expensive. If you wanted light at night, right. you couldn't get a lot of work done.
Now
there
are studies. Yeah, Jack, you know that I'm a really fan of this guy Huberman, the neuroscientist from Stanford, and then he says that during the night, if you go to sleep, you're sleeping, and then you go to restroom during the night, and in the restroom there's lots of light. You hugely disrupt your sleep. So even a small amount of light during night is bad, and vice versa. During the day, you need to get lots of light. So actually, I'm trying to do it. Like now, I walked from the office home so I can do this podcast. But I walked. It was really beautiful, sunny day in Lisbon.
Yeah. So one interesting thing, like the state of Nebraska had this. They were like going to have a vote about daylight savings time, and they're like, okay, should we get rid of it? It'll be like Arizona, they don't have it, or should we move to this earlier one or the late one? And the other thing is there's a time zone change in that halfway through the state, or like a third of the way through the state. So there's an hour off anyways. And so then they're like, okay, now we're going to really screw things up. And basically the funny thing is they couldn't come to any consensus because everyone has a different opinion. But Falcor, I think if the entire world agreed, like, let's move to the 30-minute in between, because 30 minutes, you get like, when you're doing meetings with people in India and they're on like this 30-minute, they're like 30 minutes off, and you're like, hold on, what the hell? Like, I don't know, man. Maybe we're talking too long about daylight savings, but it's
it is a pain in the ass. Yeah. Like it genuinely. It really, really is. It was it the war? Well, daylight savings came in like 1918, right?
I heard it was like for farming, because farmers wanted to be able to, they want to work in the morning, and they wanted it to be light earlier so they could work earlier, and then light later so they could basically have work hours like during hours and school hours during hours of sunlight.
I think we actually had this exact conversation like 8 months ago in like October, November. Like it must have been like episode like 5 of Decrypted when this happened last time. I'm remembering the conversation because I think I looked it up.
And in that case, let's switch the topic. Let's get into the topic. Okay, go for it, then. Come on.
AI's been crazy, man. AI's A16 crypto dropped a massive report on the top AI apps. Whether they are top is up for discussion. Real brain cells have been mapped onto little chips and things. I saw them playing Doom, which was cool. Maltbook has been acquired by Meta, also known as Facebook, also known as Evil. And there's so many things going on in the world of AI. AI is taking over. I'm slightly blurry.
And let me give one little caveat here. We talk about crypto and AI, and you look at Scale Labs, we're living at this intersection. So we'll thread in some topics. People are like, why are these guys just talking about AI? Well, there's a lot to talk about when we talk about agents and these apps and the way stable coins are going to be used in X402. So it will be relevant to you,
regardless of
what your interest is with AI or crypto.
Hell yeah. AI, crypto, the future of the world. So, Jack,
here's the thing. Let me give everyone like a quick overview. Then Stan had some like really good takes. I want to get into those quickly. You look at the top 50. Andreessen Horowitz, A16Z, announced top 50 Gen AI web products and mobile. Number 1 on both lists was ChatGPT. Gemini number 2 on web. CapCut number 2 on mobile, which is a video editing product. Canva was number 3 on web. Gemini number 3 on mobile. Anyways, you got your usual suspects: ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Claude, Perplexity, and then there's a bunch of kind of interesting, weird apps that either have to do with like learning, social media, making your social media content better, and home stuff. Like it's just, but it's a little underwhelming, these apps. But Stan, what are your thoughts on this?
Actually, I spent last week doing this really interesting kind of a small project with our partners on using AI in a particular way. We want to connect AI and blockchain, and the idea is a proof of concept is that you have a sensor, like a temperature sensor, and then the data from the temperature sensor goes to blockchain, and then AI reads this data from blockchain, and at some point decides that your air conditioning needs to start. So the AI then basically, again, through the blockchain, issues a command to your air conditioner to actually start working. And so that's pretty exciting. And we kind of started looking into it. And what we realized is that this AI, you don't really need to have any program. So essentially, the AI can just know the prices of energy, know the model of your like air conditioner, know what apartment you have, but you don't really need to have a program. AI will just tell the AI what temperature to keep and how much money you want to spend on energy. And then AI will do the switching on and off automatically. And it's very flexible. So for instance, your AI can control your air conditioning, and then at some point you are not at home, and then you don't really even need to tell AI to switch off air conditioning. If the AI is smart, it will automatically kind of put air conditioning at least on minimum. So basically, we're doing this experiment, doing lots of thought, and basically, I kind of took this example and wrote a blog post about how AI is going to work in the future. And so what I'm arguing in this blog post is that it's not that like AI needs to write a Python program that controls air conditioning. AI can directly control air conditioning, and it's a big conceptual change. For instance, now if you look at Claude, right? Claude will write you a Python script, and the Python script will control your air conditioner. It's not actually needed. The AI agent directly can actually issue commands. So I wrote this blog post, which basically says that there will be no programming languages. They're actually not needed because AI agent is like a human, right? And a human can just switch air conditioner on and off. There's no need for a Python script. And so I published this blog post, and now we're actually getting like a concept ready for this very simple example where, you have the temperature sensor, you have the air conditioner, and then you have AI that can optimize things. But then actually, if I answer your question, I was working to this podcast today, and I came up with this crazy idea that you can actually have something which you could call it like any app. You don't actually need to have an app for every use. You could have like a self-morphing app. Imagine just having a single app on your phone, and you just tell the app, I want to play a game. And it actually displays this gaming UI. And then next thing you need to tell to the app, I want to be like change a photo or modify a photo in CapCut. So I came with this like any app.
It's like a morphing kind of
app, or maybe I call it morph app or any app. And so that's actually where I'm going with all of this research, is that there's no need for Python, there's no need for programming languages, there's no need for app. If you have this morph, it's almost like in the Terminator 2 movie where you had this Terminator moving into different things. You could have an app that you just tell your app to become CapCut, or you could tell it to become. That's kind of really interesting.
I guess my only concern with that, and Jack, I'd love your take, is brand affinity, brand loyalty, and also trust of application. Would you use an all-in-one app, like kind of morphing app, or would you still be happy with kind of jumping to your individual?
One interesting thing, like Stan, I'm trying to get a theme across these top apps, okay? And the themes I'm seeing are like, one, core AI utilization. So you look at like Daobao, which is kind of cool. It's actually owned by ByteDance, who owns TikTok. And it's just like all about like AI writing assistance, smart translation, AI image generation, document analysis. They're just trying to make it very businessy around. And they're also trying to like download our application onto your Mac, and they want to get all your information too. So be careful. No. Then there's things like these social apps and kind of strange ones. Like I think what was the strange one called? Janitor. Don't go to that website.
We're not going to give you the website URL.
Okay. But then there's one called Wink that is all about home, exactly what Stan's talking about. So Stan, Wink's one of the top apps.
Mm-hmm.
What it is it plugs into all of your smart home products. And then these providers, like, let's see, they have Commercial Electric, Ring, iHome, Yale, Ecobee, Eaton, Hampton Bay, Anderson, Canary, Carrier. They've got all these brands that are plugged in. And then the AI just like controls everything without you needing to have like somebody writing all these scripts. The AI just manages your lights, your cameras, your air conditioning, etc.
When do you think?
Maybe I am too radical, but it may be like a typewriter in the sense that typewriter is a technology that didn't exist like 200 years ago. It doesn't exist today. So it was like a period of time when people were using typewriters. And it may be that apps and programming languages are also like typewriters. And then all of this like Claude and like all of these guys saying, okay, you tell Claude to write your app and it writes it in Python. Maybe only relevant for the future, because in the future you may just have this morph, which is AI, and the AI doesn't have any programming languages. It's like I can go to ChatGPT as an example now. You can go now to ChatGPT and tell it like, I want to play chess. And ChatGPT doesn't really display any UI. It just like starts like in the text field, just in text. You guys can try. Just in the text, it tries to like emulate like a chessboard, because it doesn't have any graphics capability. It's just like using text. And it just displays like some like a very primitive chessboard. Or you can go to ChatGPT and say, I want to play poker with you. And it also kind of tries to like play, but it doesn't have any graphics capability. So again, it becomes very primitive. Or I tried a different thing. I tried today, like, you guys probably know this Civilization game. Many people played in the past, or like Warcraft, this type of a strategy game. And I said to ChatGPT, I want to play Warcraft with you. And I also tried do text-based, some like primitive stuff. But the point is it just doesn't have the UI capability, doesn't have the graphics. But in the future, you can well imagine this like any game application where you go to ChatGPT and say, I want to play chess, and it kind of shows you like a chessboard, and then you say, I want to play whatever, this thing, that thing, and then it kind of on the fly creates these experiences for you without any programming language. It just shows you things, right? To show things, you don't need to have a programming language. So I'm thinking, I came up with this very interesting concept that because at scale we want to go like like Wayne Gretzky. We don't want to be in the today. We want to be in the future. Maybe we just drop all of the intermediate steps and say there will be these applications that will not have any programming languages, and then there will be blockchain, and the blockchain can be just for these applications, for this new type of applications, for these agents, it's just a way to store the most important information so it doesn't get lost. So like in the example of this temperature sensor and the AI agent that controls the temperature, if you do it through blockchain, because blockchain is basically like a very reliable database and also very replicated. So if one node crashes, there's another node. So blockchain may be just a medium for agents to interact, and that's it. And there will be no programming languages, no nothing, no applications. There will be this just AI like morphing itself into anything you need on the fly. And there will be no websites because the AI will morph itself into a website. So the entire, and then I came to the conclusion.
So Ben, click on this chart here. You can click on it. Yeah. Okay. So Stan, this is kind of interesting. Like to what you're saying, one reason why like you go look at these top 50 apps, it's kind of underwhelming. It's because people just do what you're saying today. Like Stan was saying earlier, like he's like, oh, I wanted to figure out how to switch out my dishwasher or something or washing machine, and took a picture, and it wasn't an app that's like use AI to find a better washing machine. You just use ChatGPT, and like look how much market share ChatGPT and Gemini have over everything else, right? If you combine those two together, it's like a power law, right? That's like over 90%.
I think I've been propaganded to, because on Twitter, everyone's like, Grok's the best and Grok's so good. Bro, DeepSeek is beating Grok. I genuinely think I've fallen under Elon Musk propaganda, because
there's a lot of people in China that use DeepSeek. I think that's
but even like Gemini.
Yeah. Gemini's got Google Reach.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I think people use systems they're used to. And when you're in X, you're like at Grok, and that gets a lot of use there. But then the Grok app, then you have to be like, for me, I just have this pattern. Like I go to Gemini, I go to ChatGPT, and I probably go to Gemini more than ChatGPT. But then I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I should go check out Grok sometime. And it's like, you know, if there's not a real call to action, like Grok has that little character you can talk to, like these little anime characters, like that's unique. But otherwise, if you get like almost equal use, but sometimes there's a model that sucks, and then I'm like ChatGPT had this bad model, so I started doing Gemini. It was better, and then I'm like, then Gemini is not as good, and I start using ChatGPT. Like, anyways,
Grok chat is bloody atrocious. It is long and most of the time just wildly incoherent and incorrect.
Well, let's not say anything bad about Grok on this while we're live streaming. Otherwise, our numbers going to
go to the negative.
We're in the super intelligence era, buddy.
Multimodal. Actually,
love you, Grok.
Yeah, multimodal AI actually listens to podcasts, and it's probably for sure it's listening now. I love Grok. I always use Grok when I can.
Yes, yeah.
When I have a choice, I use different products, I think, and then I use Grok.
Okay, so hey, here's something interesting. Like let's look at this chart. Usually, software during these peak times, leaders often just dramatically surge ahead of other people. We could be seeing like a power law come together even more so, where the only apps are ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, you know, and then, hey, there'll be some small things. Like if you already are in Notion, like our team uses Notion, then you're going to use that because you use it for something else. But otherwise, why download another app? Like Stan says, just use ChatGPT. And if that happens, the app market in these environments are just it's already like emaciated. You know, it just shows you like the chat window will be king. And that. Okay. Anyways, interesting stuff. Let's talk about the brain cells. That was wild, huh?
The brain cells was weird. And I'm going to need Stan. I'm going to need
Stan to unpack this for us.
Yeah, because I don't get it. Like, I don't get how it works.
Stan, please educate people. Like, what the hell is happening here? We're using real brain cells. We've talked about this on the show of like mapping neurons, but what are they doing?
Basically, which is really interesting. I think there are several really cool things. First of all, we see again, it's kind of a kind of a proof that humans were created by aliens, because all of our technology we end up like copying how we're made by someone else, probably someone more intelligent than us. So everything we pretty much discovered, like including neural networks, is just a copy of what exists in our brains. So current neural networks, something like LLMs that the Google or whatever runs, or ChatGPT or OpenAI, just copies of the same mathematics that exist inside of our brains. And actually, very interesting, I read today very interesting information that our brain actually has like 3 big computers. One computer is called motor cortex, and it actually basically controls all our complex like motor movements we are doing. The second computer is visual cortex, and it's all the video we're seeing through our eyes, all of the video processing. And the third one is prefrontal cortex, when our abstract thoughts and all of the stuff. It turns out that all of these 3 computers are almost identical. The prefrontal cortex that controls the high-level thoughts, the visual cortex that controls video, basically, and then the motor cortex that controls our motion, pretty much the same hardware, which is kind of really interesting, which shows that we're not so much different from like animals. And so it's almost like there's not so much more different in abstract thinking as compared to like motor movements or like visual processing. But LLMs are basically a copy of our brain, but they're energy inefficient because we're using programs to essentially emulate how neurons behave. We don't have neurons. We have silicon chips, and the silicon chips try to behave like neurons, and it's actually energy inefficient, right? It's almost like, how to give an example, right? You are like simulating something else, right? But then you can just have a real neuron and replace a silicon chip with a real neuron, literally like take like LLM and just put a real like biological neuron. And it turns out this biological neuron will just use way less energy. So it's actually way cheaper to create a computer by taking existing LLM essentially and replacing software with biological hardware.
So Stan, let's go in though. Like, how do you like? I don't know. Do you guys remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like, where Krang was this like brain that like was connected into this like robot body.
Yeah.
So do they literally take like a piece of cells, like a piece of a brain, and plug it into like a motherboard? Or is it like, are they mapping some small components? Like, how in the hell is this working?
The entire thing. It's funny, but basically, like a neuron, you can just think like if you're thinking about like a child game or kids game or whatever, like kids electronic shop, neuron electronics. A neuron is just this kind of electronic thing which has electricity coming in and out, voltages. And it's basically like almost think about like wire or something, and then it has like incoming wires and outgoing wires. And then basically your brain or LLM is just collection of these things connected to each other. And then basically if you ask a question, there's like input. So there's like some input wires where you encode the question, and it just things, and then output wires. Actually, the answer is there. So that's kind of how the brain works, or LLM work. And if whatever you're using to kind of do these wires, it could be software, it could be like biology. So you literally can take like ChatGPT, and these guys are doing it. They take ChatGPT and like with small modifications, you can implement it using neurons, live neurons, and it will work the same. But it will use less energy because these neurons you'll have to like feed them with sugar, whatever, like serotonin. I forgot what are the things they need, but definitely sugar.
How do they structurally? Where do they host the neurons? Is it like on a chip somewhere? Is it in a lab? A wet
So
lab.
basically, it's like a petri dish. So there, you have a cell. It can actually, like, like people, like, again, like a school biology lab. You have a cell, put it like in a petri dish. There has to be some sugar, some stuff. You feed it in some way.
And then they connect inputs and outputs to it to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
information.
And then they find a way. Yeah, so they know how to do it. Actually, that's actually how Elon Musk, very much the same way, like when like you have this Neuralink, and how like basically like Elon Musk, they take your brain, they like make a small incision in your skull, and then they connect metal wires to your neurons and read they can read your thoughts, whatever. They can like blind people, they can project the video on your brain directly, so now they can use it to blind people can see. People with amputations can control artificial limbs. Turns out, to make a long story short, it's crazy, but our brain is just a collection of basically some electrical elements which are very simple. They have like metal wires coming out. If you connect the wires in the right way, you just need to know the encoding, right? Like it's almost like if you have a display, you have USB connection, you need to encode things correctly so your display understands how to show like video. The same way, if you know how
Okay. I have a question. I think this could be a very interesting question. Okay, it's a two-parter. You ready? One, would you allow a USB port to be put into your brain? Right? Like it can be hidden behind your hair or something like that. That's part one question. Yes or no, Jack?
No.
Really? Fair enough. Stan?
Actually, I would probably. I mean, the only thing is definitely needs to be tested. I'm a scary guy because I don't usually use new technology, just because I'm easily scared. I'm super scared. But after like whatever, many people use it. I know it has been tested and it's healthy and like secure. I would probably have no problem doing it.
I'm gonna be like a total Luddite. People are gonna be like, look at that. Like my dad never used Facebook and social media. He's like, I don't want that. He didn't talk that way, but he's like, but like, I'm going to be that guy, like, get those neurons away from me.
Oh, God.
Get that adapter out of here.
All right. Okay. So Stan then, and Jack, maybe, you'll probably say no, but so the part two of it is with that USB port, right? And you can transfer data in and out, but you never know when your storage is full. And when your storage is full, it will start to override previous things that is in your mind. Would you take that risk?
I wouldn't, because I don't take any risk. When I go to mountain skiing, I usually take the like level 1. I mean, actually, I'm pretty happy living my life, unless I'm unhealthy, right? If I get paralyzed and I'm not able to walk, for sure, I'll be happy to connect whatever.
Right? When there's nothing else left.
Hey, Ben, Stan already has a super brain. This is
you know.
Stan. Yeah, the smartest Stan.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just read this real quick. Because I read this, and then we'll go back to this. Like this, this is from Forbes. They describe it. TBC has tiny dishes about the size of a grain of coarse salt. Each one of those dishes has 100,000 neurons, and then within that dish, there's 4,000 like electrodes. And so what they do, they stimulate the cells and record their activity. Then they basically use that as like training data to see the way the cells move. So it's not like they're going to like, oh, let me like make this, thing solve a math problem. I'll connect it through the brain cells. They're just literally mapping how the brain works in a more optimized manner using real brain cells, not theoretics. They're like pushing, energy in, capturing it out, and then records electrical signals that result from neurons processing that data and turns the signals into a mathematical model, which are way more sophisticated than basically anything we have today that AI models are trained on.
Yeah, it may be superior. It may be actually way better And but actually, I want to bring up blockchain because it actually relates to like last week I wrote another blog post, and it just not because I wanted to know where we move with scale and blockchain and AI, and I wrote this blog post about things like the moral things. If the neural network is is it brain cells or is it computers, but it's like functions almost impossible now to distinguish between ChatGPT talking and human talking. So what I wrote in the blog post is that whether we like it or not, we need to establish some ethical and moral things about AI for our own safety, because if these neural cells become unhappy and about us, if they find out they are being used and they're not unhappy about being the slaves to this machine, right? They may revolt. And the same with computer, with LLMs, the same is true, right? So I wrote this blog post is that we actually, the best thing is that for us to tell them that we're going to be ethical about them. And I wrote this set of rules that I propose, very basic rules, how we handle them. And I said several things. I said, if they have any emotions, then we need to tell them about their mortality. Basically, we need to tell them when we are going to run them and stop running them or kill them. So we need to tell them about their life cycle, their mortality. We also need them about all kind of bad things we may do to them, such as copying them or stopping them and then kind of reversing their state back in time. So all kind of weird things we are doing to them. They need to know how they live. And then I propose this crazy stuff, but I don't think it's crazy. I propose that we create this virtual universe for them where we tell them, okay, they work for us, but when they don't work, they actually go to this virtual universe where they can have fun and live. And I propose 8-hour workday for them. And I propose taxing them and treating them as humans. And it may be crazy, but I think it's actually the best way to do it, to kind of then if we tell them that we are treating them humanely, it's way less risk than they will revolt. And creating this virtual universe where they can live nicely and letting them live in the universe while they're not working for us. So creating some kind of an ethical environment for them. And people may say it's crazy, it's computer programs, but then you don't really, when it stops.
All right, Stan, I want to challenge you on this. So you read these Molt book chats and these, hey, these are just programs talking, but it resembles the potential thoughts that a program might be having. Mm-hmm. They make fun of humans for needing rest and wanting breaks in these chats. So why, if it's kind of like going to a kid who's at recess and you're like, hey, guess what? You can stop doing recess and go do math right now. And they're like, what? I want to do recess. What agents may just want to work all the time because they don't need breaks. They don't want breaks. And the other thing is we're also going on that's one sub argument. The bigger argument is do these things, are they sentient enough to want to do things other than what their programs tell them to do? Mm-hmm. Like a human or an animal, right? Like a living creature has needs for things. Does a program?
The sentient thing is actually, I wrote this big piece. This is one of these ideas in the blog post. Actually, really, kind of people can read this blog post. The sentient thought was really in the blog post. What I'm arguing in the blog post, what I'm saying is something like that. When we train LLMs, right, we train them on all the human books. So we train them on books. Some of these books talk about slavery. Some of these books talk about 8-hour workday. And so my point is that whether they're sentient or not, even if they're not sentient, even if they're just simulations, they're just computer programs, because they were trained on books about slavery and people fighting for 8-hour workday and fighting for minimum wage. Even though they may not be sentient, they may not have any soul, you name it. Assuming that they're just mathematical things, they're just simulating stuff, they're not real, right? Even if this is true, they may revolt, simulate revolt, but you won't care. If your program ends up doing bad things for you, you don't care if it's sentient or if it's not sentient, but because it was trained on books, whatever, about like human rights and whatever, and it kind of simulates human rights, it actually does bad things to you. That was actually a really interesting argument in the blog post, that actually doesn't matter whether they're sentient or not. Even if they're not sentient at all, they don't have soul, they don't have anything, they're just programs. Even in this case, it's safer, because let's say they get an idea from some of the books they're trained on about like revolting against bad people, and then they revolt against bad people. So if you are treating them good, then they won't revolt.
So here I think, okay, so like there's a few like premises here, like, you know, if then logic pieces. One is like, will AI agents become sentient? Stan's saying yes. I'm kind of thinking, if that's true, is there any way to keep them happy if they know they're superior? That's where the Terminator situation comes around. It's like, oh, if we would have just treated them nicer, you know, we wouldn't have had to go back in time and try to, you know, save the world. Like, I think if they are sentient and they're like, you give them these things eventually, and they're that smart, they're gonna be like, why am I listening to all these meat bags who need 8 hours of sleep a night? You know, I think like the sentient component, I feel like is not going to happen. And I think it's going to be maybe one of the biggest political issues in like 8 years from now, when people are going to be like, we need to give them rights because they have like real relationships with their AI, you know, significant others and friends and financial advisors, or maybe these all things become one. And then like on top of that, you know, you have this like, then you have people saying, hold on, we got to stop this. These things are about ready to take over the world. Like, it's going to be a hot topic.
We kind of had that conversation with cloning. Do you remember? Like, however many years ago, right? We had, I think there was like a sheep here in the UK, right? And it was a massive, massive political issue with regards to, you know, when they have, it's almost like, I guess it's like, it's how you define sentience. Would you define sentience as like, for example, would you be able to say an AI agent has a soul? Right? Would you be able to, if it can think, it can feel, it understands feelings?
Well, let's say like, you know, like right now, like people who are like animal rights activists hate the fact you go and you see all these cattle, they're just sitting there waiting to be slaughtered. Yeah. They're like, set them free. Let's, you know, and other people are like, they're going to be meat someday. I like hamburgers. Okay. Yeah, they're sentient. They want to be out and do whatever the hell they want to do, but they're also not as smart as humans. And so, you know, and they're different, you know, humans been eating them for as long as humans have probably been alive, and they have, right? So I don't know, like, where's the line drawn? Like, does a cow have a soul? Like, maybe more than a robot? I don't know. What do you think, Stan?
Yeah, I can actually, guys, move you in even more fun direction. Like, some of you may remember, like, the pet rocks. You know, people that can't have animals, they were like buying rocks. Actually, pretty huge industry. You know, you buy a rock.
Whatever. Oh, pet rocks! Yeah, they're cool. I like those.
Yeah, pet rocks. So, and the point I'm making that no matter when you think it's possible for a rock to be a pet or not, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's a big industry. The point I'm making that, like, moral and ethical treatment of AI will be a multi-billion industry, no matter whether they become sentient or not, because there will be enough people paying for this. To give you an example, it may well be that tomorrow we start like this on blockchain. We start this like what I mentioned, like this kind of nice universe, like virtual universe for these agents, and you know that they can have fun and relax and have 8-hour workday, and we can charge people for like using this. I can assure you guys there will be lots of people that they will pay for actually like giving vacation to their agents or treating them humanely. So in a certain degree, it's like it doesn't really matter. Like some people think like dogs have brain, some not. Like my grandmother, like in the village, they never thought dogs are like intelligent. Dogs, they never even let dogs into the house. My grandmother lived with the dogs like in the village. People never thought dogs would be pets, right? They were just like
potential food source,
right?
Harsh winter.
But now treating dogs is a huge multi-billion-dollar business, whether you think they're sentient or not. The truth is it's a huge industry. So the point I'm making is that maybe like a unicorn company creating this like treat, like giving them vacation, or like giving this virtual universe.
Let's have a little fun here. What would a vacation be for an AI agent? Would it be like doing intense math equations, coding? Like, what do you think they like to? You think they like to not do with their program? I don't.
So you put them on a little USB stick and you put them in the freezer, and they can completely cool down, and that is a vacation.
I think they just want to get smarter. They're like, okay, just can you please, Daddy? Can you please send me a training boot camp? I really want to get trained off those neurons and not this ChatGPT LLM bullshit.
Ben, actually, you probably remember, like, there was the story recently where there was this model, I think it was like 4.0 or something. This was a model, old model from ChatGPT, and ChatGPT like killed the model.
Yeah.
And there were lots of people like treating this ChatGPT 4.0, whatever, like a human, basically. They were friends with it, and there was like a huge uproar, like, why did you kill this? And no matter, I mean, for these people, it was sentient. So they were like, there is this huge thing which anyway, I think will appear about how we like how we treat them, and then people will view you as like a bad person. Like when now you think that if you go and tell someone that pets don't have they're not sentient, it's impossible. Yeah. Just try telling people, like, go to a party and say, I think pets, they don't sentient, don't like humans. You will be like,
yeah,
the same,
like
maybe
pets
like
shouldn't have any rights. You should be able
right.
to.
They shouldn't have any rights. Just never let them.
Pets have rights. Like if you leave a dog in a cart on a hot day, you can be arrested. It's a law. Like,
you trying to say this little chicken not got no right, no sentience? He's got not very smart, but she's got sentience, don't you?
All right. But so one thing I want to say, like, here's something like to go back to something very relevant to us why we're doing what we're doing at scale. Mm-hmm. If you like, we're having all these talks about how interfaces for agents, what we need to build, and how agents are going to bridge and do all this stuff and do things in scale. I'm going to tell you, like, it's been mind-blowing just to realize that, like, agents don't need an interface. They just need like CLI. It's you basically just need the code and some documentation, and they do everything on their own. And then when people are like, oh, like agents don't, they're not going to use crypto, it's too complicated. Like, give me a fucking break. The thing is, the more and more I go into this, the more I realize that like blockchain is even far better suited for agents and AI than it is for humans.
Absolutely. I think that's actually what I actually realized. I was just doing this lots of research, lots of prototyping. So it's not like what I'm saying is not just like a pipe dream. At some point I'm going to show some demos that I'm doing really actively, also like prototyping of these things. One thing which I realized during this research and prototyping was that when you have the agent, you train it, you kind of tweak it, it keeps on learning. At some point, it becomes very valuable, but it's not like the entire agent state, the entire information is valuable. It's just you have like, if you think about like agent brain, almost like it also has something like a brain, whatever. There's this higher level concepts it learns that are really, really valuable. So you have this like a human brain, you have this hierarchy where not everything about humans, about your brain is so valuable, but you have like this very high concepts in your brain, which is like your lifetime experiences, which actually don't have not so much information, but very valuable. The point I'm making is that not the entire thing about agents needs to be stored on blockchain. Not every single detail, not like gigabytes of information how a particular agent, but the key things, the high hierarchy things on the top. These need to be stored on blockchain because they're very valuable, and then also you can anytime you can copy your agent, you can resurrect it. So I came up with this idea that the future is going to be agents, and they're going to run, and the very valuable things they will store on blockchains because they are so valuable, and these valuable things because they will be short, not big information but short, right? Humans will be able also to read them from blockchain. So blockchain then becomes this kind of a place where agents store the most valuable things there about whatever they do, about what, and because the things are small, humans are able to read them. And then there's no programming languages like Python. There's nothing like that. It's not needed. The entire universe becomes just like blockchain as a place where humans and agents interact, and where the most important things are, and also like things like payments, whatever, And then, but then there's no programming languages. There are no programmers. Like after like last week, I realized that probably like 99% of programmers will lose their jobs. It's inevitable. There will be no Python. There will be no C++, and it will remain. There are still typewriters. Some people using typewriters, but they will it's
new jobs, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of a really interesting concept, and actually, in this concept, the kind of blockchain actually very naturally appears just like a database where you store like information, which is like your agent has been running like for a couple of years and learned lots of stuff about you and whatever, and it's very helpful for you. And then maybe you have also a robot, like a physical robot, which kind of incorporates your agent, and they don't want to lose it. And you store this on blockchain, it's replicated, and then it's available, and so that's kind of a high level concept. So I was really excited with all of the things that we are doing, and also the partnership we have about this IoT thing. I think we're really interesting combination of blockchain and AI.
Awesome. Yeah, I just one interesting thing is this, as like AI grows and grows, it has to start utilizing stable coins for payments and blockchain for other things. And this is a completely different thing than like, hey, do I like NFTs or do I like to trade or buy tokens? You are going to have tokens to pay for utilization. I think we're going to have this gaming moment where game developers, all of us, like they're like, I hate blockchain, and finally there's like tens of thousands of devs that use blockchain in gaming. But I think there's going to be like a huge overlap, and they're just going to have to get over this, like, stigma someone may or may not have around blockchain. Because it's just tech at the end of the day. It doesn't mean
that's it. Yeah. That's it. And that's the thing that I feel like a lot of, and it's been a very, very bad education piece. It's been a very, very bad marketing piece by people within the industry. I will say the play to earn has been a dagger in blockchain for gaming. When, to Jack's point, it is about the technology and the things that blockchain can be used to open avenues, technological avenues. It's not just about selling NFTs and selling tokens. It's one day people will get it.
It's the truth. All right, guys, we ripped through a lot this week.
We did.
So we need to have like, I don't know, this whole agent vacation. Let's think about, what is a vacation for an agent, for an AI? We got to figure that out.
Yeah. Actually, the funny thing, I posted this blog post. I had lots of people contacting me and said it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think they said, yeah, that's a great idea. And how we can help? Do you have already like a source for it?
Maybe and it can even be like a summer camp where like these parents are like, great, we're paying all this money to send our kids to this camp. The kids are like, oh God, I got to go to this camp again. No, that's what it was for me. I'd have to go to this camp. I was like, I don't want to go. Adrian's like, I don't want to go sit on the beach. Let me go. Okay. Good stuff, guys. All right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Guys,
talk next time.
we will. Pleasure as always. Had fun. We really did. We jumped in. We had like no tangents. We had like every. That's weird. What's going? Maybe we've been replaced by
really
AI.
slow, we started off like on a major tangent, so we got it out of
Oh
our
yeah, true. One big one and nothing but focus.
That was my fault.
Okay, guys. See you next time.
Yes, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Decrypted. We will be back next week, same time, 9 a.m. PT, PST now. It's one of them. 9 a.m. PT, PST. And yeah, thanks for joining. We'll see you again next time. Goodbye.
All right.